there! Welcome to Peace of Her Mind. Today, we will talk about being a NBSB at 22 and how to survive and thrive in perpetual singleness. Okay, so before we proceed to our topic, let us first define what is NBSB. NBSB is an acronym which stands for No Boyfriend Since Birth. Yes, it is quite self-explanatory, which simply means that NBSB is a female who hasn't entered a romantic relationship with a guy to actually be called her boyfriend. And in line with that, before we actually dig deeper onto the topic, let me first share to you my misconceptions about romantic relationships. Back when I was in high school, I actually thought that I would have my first boyfriend. And I was right. It was just a thought or an idea, and it never actually happened. Second and last misconception was I believed that there was a higher chance of entering a romantic relationship by the time I entered college or university because I expected guys to be more mature and actually have a lot of chance for myself to meet new and interesting people. When the reality was, because people were so put together, they were so responsible and has a full account of their priorities, people, or at least guys, were more driven to pursue their studies and to focus on it without entering a romantic relationship. So yeah, those were the two things that I thought was real about romantic relationships but was just actually a misconception. So now, let us move on to the question as to why I am still a no boyfriend since birth at 22. I have researched a lot, and by a lot, I mean a lot. And thankfully, I came up with an interesting, reasonable, and acceptable answer. It is because I happen to be ambivalent, which is defined as ambivalent relationship seekers want love but only if they can avoid pain, maintain their lifestyle, keep their freedom, achieve their career goals, not spend any extra money, and stay in control. It's when you want romance and love but value something else just as much or more. As these values compete, they sabotage anything that gets in the way, such as a relationship. This is according to the article of Nicole Beer on goodness.me entitled, "If I'm so amazing, why am I still single?" So, at first, it was actually mind-blowing when I got to encounter this reasoning because, so that's what people like us are called. When you desperately want a romantic relationship, but you value some things just as important as a romantic relationship. Ambivalent. Simply, it's just you cannot serve two masters at once. So, in the end, we choose to be single because it is much more convenient and practical for us. So now that I know the reason behind why I am still a no boyfriend since birth, you may ask that why not try again to be in a relationship now that I am in a better position to actually pursue having a boyfriend, but this time with more maturity. In all honesty, I was also asking the same question to myself, but I arrived with the same conclusion. No, it happens to be that apparently I am not, and I do not like the idea of dating online, more so relying on it to establish meaningful relationships. I don't know, it's just that it is not for me because there's so little assurance, or there's so little things to hold on to when you are just seeing a person virtually. But no disrespect to those who have found love using online apps, and most especially during this time where it is a pandemic, where our health and safety will always become our utmost priorities. So now that we have covered the first part of our topic, why I am still a no boyfriend since birth at 22, let us move forward to how to survive and actually thrive in perpetual singleness. There are so many ways how to make the most of this waiting season, but the best tip I can give to you is watch movies. Yes, watch movies. Because as what my friend Melchor has said, watching movies can become a therapeutic experience. And not just therapeutic, but it is enlightening. It allows you to see things on a wider and different perspective, that at the end of the day, it is as if you have undergone the same experience without actually having to experience it yourself. So, here are 3 movies I urge every single human out there to watch. The first movie is entitled How to Be Single. It was released in 2016 with the genres comedy, romance, and drama. Its summary is: a group of young adults navigate love and relationships in New York. The best movie line for me is, "I've been thinking that the time we have to be single is really the time we have to get good at being alone. But how good at being alone do we really want to be? Isn't there a danger that you'll get so good at being single, so set in your ways, that you'll miss out on the chance to be with somebody great?" So that was the best movie line. And as to why you should watch it, I will not tell you why, but if I were to describe what I have learned through the movie, it will be independence. The second movie is entitled Little Women, which was released last 2019 with the genres romance and drama. Its summary is: Jo March reflects back and forth on her life, telling the beloved story of the March sisters, 4 young women, each determined to live life on her own terms. The best movie line for me was, "Women, they have minds, and they have souls, as well as just hearts. And they've got ambition, and they've got talent, as well as just beauty. I'm so sick of people saying that love is just all a woman is fit for." I guess from this line, you can foretell that this movie has a huge stand when it comes to womanhood. So, if I were to describe what I learned through this movie, it will be courage. The third movie is entitled Watashi yo Kuitomete, or in English translation, Hold Me Back, which was just released last year, 2020. Its genres are romance, drama, and comedy. The summary of the movie is: Mitsuko Kuroda is 31 years old and single. she enjoys her life as a single woman. A big reason why she enjoys her single life is that she has Counselor A in her mind, which is her other self. Whenever she does not know what to do, A gives her the right answers. She believes her happy and peaceful single life with A will continue. But she falls in love with Tada-kun, who is a salesperson and actually younger than her. The best movie line for me is, "What do you expect? Humans fly solo from the day we are born. You need to make an effort to be with someone." If I were to describe what I have learned through this movie, it would be identity. So, those were the 3 movies that I highly recommend to you if you happen to be single. And now, to end formally this vlog, let me remind all of you that I created this video not to antagonize romantic relationships, but simply to provide comfort and inspiration, if possible, to every single human being in the world. To every single human out there just like me, let us remember that singleness is not a curse, but is actually a gift if taken and experienced with the right frame of mind and proper posture of the heart. May all of us use this season to grow and explore life, and let's just say, even if you come home empty-handed, let us always believe that it is the journey, not the destination, that fills our hearts and nourishes our souls. So yeah, we have finally reached the end of this vlog. Thanks for tuning in and stay safe.